So I'd like to show you a problem that we had with our 2014 59G Travato when we first got it. Of course, it was already 3 years old, had already had some use, was in very good condition, but we did notice a few things right off the bat that definitely needed some fixing. And one of them was this table. Now, I've already done the fix, undone it, and I'm going to show you what I did again. But in simulating the pretty much same as original conditions, this is what we had, is that the table loved to wiggle. I mean, everything seemed loose. I mean, the catches on the side of the table were actually not so much loose as they were just not holding on to the bar. The whole thing was just very wiggly, and we knew that was going to be a problem. It was also trouble because even if you pulled it back all as far as you would, the left catch would hit the left end of the bar, and it couldn't go any further, at which point it's very difficult to be in this seat. Although I've got an extra cushion here, let me extract that. So, still, I mean, I can't even get my knees past the bar, so still very difficult to get in and out of the seat, much less use it. Even in that scenario, you're hitting this, trying to get in and out of the front seats. You're bumping into this every time you're trying to come to the back. And that had to contribute to the amazing wiggliness of this. So, what I did to fix it is twofold. The first suggestion my wife had, of course, was, well, just move those catches in further so that you can slide it further away so she could fit more comfortably in the chair. And you can slide it further back when we're trying to drive and get in and out of the front seats. So the solution, as it turned out, was almost as easy as she had envisioned. Move the catches in addition to tightening the screws on the bar, seemed to pretty much do the trick. And I'll show you what I did. Fold the leg in, drop the table, so we can undo it from the catches. Now you'll notice that the black end pieces are already gone on mine because I've slid this thing in and out so many times. I'm just not worrying about them. We're going to leave them off. So we'll slide it out and flip it over. Actually, flip it around so we can see the business end over here. Now, ignore these holes, because that's part of the process that I did. What I did was I moved the catches in, and at first I couldn't figure out how to do that. And then it occurred to me that if I move them in exactly one pair of holes, the width of these suits, so they use the inner two holes for the outer two holes, then it would actually work, but I would end up having to lose the screws here on the bracket. Now, because of the way this is set up, I really don't see that as a problem. So, what we're going to do is pull these two screws out in addition, and then move the bracket over. So I'm going to leave this metal bracket exactly where it was, and I'm going to align this in so that the outer holes in the plastic bracket match the inner pair of holes in the metal bracket underneath, which still provides the same spacing. It turns out that the silver bracket and the black metal bracket are about the same dimensions, so that really doesn't offset this bracket. We're just moving it towards center. And then by drilling a hole here through this piece of metal, I'm able to put the third screw in. And I end up with 3 screws left over. I could put a hole in the metal and put the screw in there, but the honest truth is that's held in well enough. I don't think that's really necessary at this point. If it breaks, you guys can be the first to laugh at me. And of course I'll show that because, you know, it's... So we do the same thing on the other one. Take the screws out. And take these two screws out. Align that. And again, here's a step that I'm skipping because I've already done it. Take a drill bit and drill through the metal, through that hole. And not very far into the wood because you want to grab plenty of wood there. And I end up with 6 screws left over. I'm going to set those aside in case I need them later for anything. And then these brackets are now a couple of extra inches in from where they were originally. In fact, it looks to be about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, 1.25 inches, I think. So that's already an improvement. But the other real improvement was simply coming up here to this bracket and tightening these screws. There's a screw on each end. 2 screws are there on each end. And I found one of them that stripped out, so I found a replacement that was slightly larger in diameter with the same length, so I wasn't going to go through any further. And now that bar doesn't move, which is a huge benefit. Now we reinstall the table. And this is the tricky part where you get that black sliding plastic piece in. There we go. And we slide it back, front of the table down, catches over the bar, lift up, drop the lid, and now a lot of that wiggle is gone. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot less wiggly. And I can slide it forward more to the point that the front lip of the table is actually in about 1 inch or so from the front lip of the seat. I can also slide it even back further when we're not using the bench seat, so it's easier to get in front. A whole lot easier, in fact. I mean, this was such a significant change that we had been talking about lopping off a chunk of the table, or even, as some others have done, shortening the table. We were also seriously planning on just replacing the table with some new wood while we were at it. And now it's like that has gone way down on our priority list, because this relatively simple fix, actually done while we were camping up on Mount Asano in Huntsville, has solved the problem completely. So, well, or as completely as needs to be for the time being. Like I say, there's always room for improvement. Actually, you know, I probably should craft some better brackets that grab over the bar more. That could actually improve it a little more. It would be even less wiggly. But like I say, that's for another day. And that's enough for this project. Again, thanks for watching. This is theBlife. And we'll be sure to bring you even more fun and fixes from the 2014 Travato 59G as we fix it up and getting ready to do long-term trips with it. Basically longer as we go. Anyway, I'll probably trim most of that off. Alright. Now, you better have actually been running during this, If you didn't catch it, I'm going to be very upset with you.